Imagine this. You're only one semester away from becoming a veterinarian. Your graduation clothes are already picked out. Your future is finally within reach. Then, one ordinary walk home erases you from the world. No body, no goodbye, no witnesses. Just a bedroom filled with clues that would all disappear before investigators could even examine them. Tonight, we're talking about one of South Korea's most haunting, unsolved disappearances. The case of Lee Yoonhee. Welcome to the podcast, You Can't Unhear. Our story begins in 2006. Lee Yoonhee was 29 years old and studying veterinary medicine at Jeonbuk National University. She wasn't a freshman. She wasn't someone who had just started college. She was in her final year. Only one semester remained before graduation. Friends described her as hardworking, kind, and independent. She loved animals, which was exactly why she'd chosen veterinary medicine in the first place. Nothing about her suggested she would suddenly disappear. But just days before everything happened, something strange occurred. On June 3rd, Yoonhee's bag was stolen. Inside were almost everything she relied on: her wallet, her student ID, her notebook, her mobile phone. She chased the thief, but couldn't catch them. Frustrated, she decided she'd replace everything over the next few days. It felt like bad luck, nothing more. Then, June 5th arrived. Her department held a dinner gathering. Just like many university dinners in South Korea, it lasted late into the night. Students ate, talked, drank, celebrated. The gathering continued until the early hours of June 6th. Around 2:30 in the morning, Yoonhee decided she'd had enough. She was tired. She wanted to go home. A male classmate named Kyunho offered to walk her back. Friends knew he had feelings for her. But according to everyone present, nothing seemed unusual. The walk took about 20 minutes. Kyunho later told investigators he escorted her safely to her boarding house around 3 o'clock in the morning, said goodbye, and left. If that's true, he became the last confirmed person to ever see Lee Yoonhee alive. The next morning, June 6th, Yoonhee didn't attend class. Nobody worried. After an all-night department dinner, sleeping in was completely normal. June 7th came. Still no Yoonhee. Friends started wondering where she was. Normally, they would have called her. But remember, her phone had been stolen days earlier. There was no easy way to contact her. By June 8th, the concern turned into panic. Several classmates walked to her boarding house. They knocked. No answer. They called her name. Silence. Looking through a window, they noticed something strange. The room looked messy. Even stranger, her 2 pet dogs were still inside. They were alive, but alone. At that point, friends called the police. Officers forced open the door, and Yoonhee was gone. Only her dogs and her computer remained. At first, there were no obvious signs of violence. Then investigators examined the computer. What they found changed the entire direction of the case. The computer had been turned on between 2:59 and 4:21 in the morning. But during that entire period, there were only 3 minutes of actual activity. Someone had searched for 112, South Korea's emergency police number. Then another search. Sexual harassment, followed by the same phrase, misspelled. Those 3 searches became one of the biggest mysteries in the entire investigation. Who typed them? Yoonhee? Or someone else? Police immediately considered the possibility that she'd been attacked. They contacted her parents. Then, officers temporarily left the room to complete paperwork, asking friends to remain nearby. Those friends wanted to help. They looked around the room, saw the mess, and assumed Yoonhee would hate people seeing her apartment that way. So they cleaned. They swept the floor, mopped, organized belongings, wiped surfaces. Trying to do something kind, they unknowingly destroyed what could have been the most important crime scene in the entire case. When police returned, the original room no longer existed. Years later, those friends admitted they still regretted that decision. Because from that moment forward, investigators could never know what evidence had been lost. But the strange discoveries. Outside Yoonhee's boarding house, police found her small dining table. Not broken, not smashed. Its legs, every single bolt, unscrewed. 16 screws, one by one, neatly. Who would calmly dismantle furniture during the early hours of the morning? And why? Then investigators found the notebook Yoonhee had recently purchased to replace the one stolen with her bag. Oddly, it wasn't inside her room. It had somehow appeared inside a university room, normally used by graduate students. Yoonhee wasn't a graduate student. Nobody could explain how it got there. Then came, perhaps the strangest clue of all. Inside the university, there was an incinerator used to dispose of animal carcasses. Normally, it burned around 40 kilograms of remains each week. But during the exact week Yoonhee disappeared, records showed it burned approximately 112 kilograms. An increase of around 70 kilograms, roughly the weight of an adult human. Investigators were horrified. Could someone have used the incinerator to destroy a body? The theory spread quickly. But by the time police considered it, the ashes had already been discarded. If evidence had ever been there, it was gone forever. Attention quickly turned to Jeonho. After all, he was the last known person to walk home with her. Some investigators believed perhaps he'd confessed his feelings, been rejected, and become violent. Maybe the internet searches were connected. Police questioned him extensively. He underwent lie detector testing. His timeline was checked repeatedly. But investigators never found evidence linking him to Yoonhee's disappearance. Eventually, he was cleared. Today, he's married, has children, and is no longer considered a suspect. Without physical evidence, the investigation stalled. There was almost no CCTV coverage in that area back in 2006. The crime scene had been cleaned. Potential forensic evidence had vanished. The incinerator ashes were gone. And the woman at the center of it all was still missing. At one point, authorities even suggested that perhaps Yoonhee had simply chosen to leave voluntarily. Her family never believed that. Not for a second. Her parents refused to stop searching. Years passed. Then, decades. They attended demonstrations, held press conferences, pushed investigators to reopen the case. At one stage, their grief became so overwhelming, they publicly blamed the friends who had cleaned the room. The accusations eventually resulted in defamation lawsuits because there was never evidence those friends had committed any crime. Only a terrible mistake. Today, almost 20 years later, Lee Yoonhee has never been found. Her parents are now in their 90s. They've publicly said they'll keep searching, even if they live to 100 years old. Think about that. Almost 2 decades of waking up every morning without knowing what happened to your daughter. No grave. No answers. Only questions. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow and share it with someone who loves true crime, cold cases, and mysteries that still refuse to let go. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, sometimes the smallest mistake can erase the biggest truth. I'll see you in the next episode of the podcast You Can't Unhear.